Good morning, everyone.
Thank you for waiting. Good morning to all of you. And today is the last day, official last day of the campaign allowed here. And I need not have to introduce you, but it's an official role for me to introduce him as the senior Congress leader, Congress Working Committee member, and 3 times MP, former Union Minister, Poor Dr. Shashi Tharoor, and Poor Emma is here from the NPCC. I request Dr. Tharoor to open the press conference from your side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Matthew, and thank you to my colleagues. I'm just delighted to see you all today. I think when Rahul Gandhi came here, it was sort of an echo of the Bharat Jodo Yatra that he initiated across the length and breadth of the country. And the message of uniting India is very different from the kind of uniformity that our present government in Delhi seems to want to impose. We are seeing, as Rahulji has said, a real challenge to the idea of India. That is that we have a ruling party that seems determined to have one nation, one election, one nation, one language, one nation, one religion, one nation, one leader. This is not India. This is not the way India works. The Congress party has always stood for the celebration of the diversity of our country, where it is a matter of strength for India, not a weakness, that we are all so different. We have our own cultures, our own religions, our own languages, our own appearances, our own clothing, our own foods, everything is different in many, many parts of the country, sometimes even within a state. And that is part of what we celebrate in the Congress Party. So I would stress that one of the first messages I wanted to give you all today is that the Congress wants to remind people of the diversity of India, which some people are attempting to eliminate, dilute, or completely diminish through an illusory uniformity which is not truly Indian. That is our first and foremost message. If you want to preserve India's diversity, you want to preserve the idea of an India where everyone will feel proud to be themselves as well as proud to be an Indian, then vote for the Congress Party. The other couple of things that I wanted to stress here is that we are very conscious that Mizoram faces a number of serious governance challenges. Sad to say, you've had 5 wasted years with a government that has been extremely inefficient, and there are serious allegations of corruption that I don't want to repeat now. But there is a real question that people are asking: what has been accomplished in Mizoram after 5 years of trying a non-Congress government? We are saying to you, we have the experience, we have quality people. Our PCC chief, Mr. Alsota, is somebody who has an unimpeachable reputation for integrity, who was an outstanding finance minister of the state. And the Mizo people can be sure that the money of Mizoram will be spent in Mizoram, that it will be money that very frankly is going to be spent in the interests of the people and not of any individual or any particular faction. The other point we want to stress is, because there are these challenges, we are aware of the need for sensible, creative governance solutions. And we've come up with a number of ideas. I won't go into much detail now because you've seen them already, they're in our manifesto. But just to highlight 2 or 3 specifically, we have understood the very urgent need for focusing on employment, particularly for young people. Youth unemployment in Mizoram is up to 23.5%. That is very high. I think after Kashmir and Kerala, there is no state that has a higher youth unemployment. That has to be tackled. Now, we will fill whatever government jobs and vacancies there are in the police and so on, but we know that's not enough. That's not enough because the solution to employment cannot only be in government jobs and police jobs. The solution to unemployment requires a certain creative approach, looking at what people's needs are. Young people would like to start their own ventures, would like to start their own entrepreneurship activities, but they need a bit of a help, they need a leg up. And that's why the Mizo Youth Empowerment or Elevate concept has been advanced, where we would provide a bit of seed money and help them start their own businesses. If they start businesses, they not only employ themselves, they will employ others. And that will be one very effective way of tackling unemployment. At the same time, we also know that there will be people who, for various reasons, may not be able to work, who need help. And that's why we've talked about 2,000 rupees a month for female-headed households, where single women are looking after a family. We want them to get not a salary, but at least a certain amount of help from us. We're talking about 2,000 for disabled people. And we want everybody to have the advantage of feeling secure that if ill health strikes, they're not going to spend all their resources in actually just getting well. So 15 lakh cover is something the Congress government has promised every individual in Mizoram. And for very serious illnesses like cancer in particular, there is a plan, first of all, to upgrade the one cancer hospital in the state, perhaps create more cancer centers, but even more important, to put aside 5 crores that will be spent specifically on treating the problems that people have with cancer. Mizoram, sadly, has amongst the highest per capita rates of cancer in the country. So these are just some ideas. But I want to go back to where I began and remind you of Rahul Gandhi's visit, remind you of the message that he gave, that the time to end the politics of hatred is here. The time to bring Indians together, celebrating our diversity and at the same time united in dreaming the same dreams together. That time is here. And that is the message that we all bring to you. I know that some voters appear to have been tempted in recent elections by a new party. They don't want the MNF because the MNF has failed them. But they're looking to a new regional party. And I want to share with you a concern that was most eloquently expressed to me yesterday by Mr. Lal. The worry we have is that nobody knows who these people are in terms they've never governed before, they have no experience of government or administration, but equally no one really knows who is behind them. And there is a genuine fear that a vote for the ZPM would be a vote for the BJP to come in through the back door. And that's why we are saying, go with the tried and tested party that you know, the Congress. Go with a party that knows you, the Congress. Go with a party that is proud of you and proud of everything that Mizoram and the people of Mizoram stand for, and that is the Congress. So I'll end by saying I'm here on the campaign trail. I've had some very good discussions yesterday with ordinary Mizos from various walks of life. I've addressed a couple of campaign rallies. I've also had the privilege of meeting very many of your senior leaders, Congress Party senior leaders in the state. And I'm looking forward in the rest of today to having more interactions with particularly the people of Aizawl, professionals, general public, and I'm looking forward to serious interactions and addressing their concerns. In the meantime, I'm happy to address your concerns and questions, so the floor is open to you. Thank you. Jay.
The mics, please. The Congress mics, please. Felix, I'll be happy if at all you can help us on that. Thank you. Yeah, Isaac, please. The mic is coming.
And if you don't mind just which agency or newspaper or kind of medium you represent, I'm very interested.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes. My name is Isaac Zarub-Sama. I'm representing All India Radio Aizawl. So my question is like the BJP, while they are campaigning for the state of Mizoram, they have promised that 6 schedule amendment and also direct power given to the three autonomous states we have in the state of Mizoram. So what is the Congress stand on this, and what is your reactions to this?
Look, we have had every reason to be wary of the BJP's promises. Because if you look back at literally the last few elections they have contested, going back to 2014, this is a party that notoriously has failed to keep its promises. Everything from 15 lakh rupees in every Indian citizen's bank account to various other commitments they made, 2 crore jobs a year for Indians. Have you seen any of these things? Have you got your 15 lakhs? Have you found a new job suddenly springing up overnight? So we're very wary of their commitments. What worries me more is their track record. Look what happened to Article 370 in Kashmir. Might the same thing happen to Article 371G in Mizoram? I don't know, you don't know, but the BJP, their record is such that nothing is sacred, nothing is untouched. And this is the worry that we all have, that if the people of Mizoram want to preserve what they've got, they should take any promises and assurances with a very generous pinch of salt.
Yes, please.
I'm Vikas Singh from Economic Times.
Yeah.
Elections in Mizoram has always been a bipolar, bipartite
Mm-hmm.
affair. Emergence of ZPM has turned it into tripartite. So do you think in any way ZPM is going to eat into the Congress space, or do you foresee a trouble helping your opponents with the emergence of ZPM?
Well, look, I mean, I think you can just listen to what the BJP themselves are saying. They know they're not going to win more than one seat if they're lucky. But they're saying, doesn't matter what we win, we're going to be in government. Well, what does that message mean? That message seems to me a very clear indication that the ZPM is working as a cat's paw, as a sort of wedge in the door for the BJP. The ZPM has never been in government, has no experience of government, doesn't have very many people who know administration here. And the clear thinking on both the BJP's part and perhaps the ZPM's part, though they won't admit it, may well be that the way to actually, if they get enough seats, is to come to power with the support of the party in the centre, namely the BJP. Now, we've seen a similar scenario playing out in one or two northeastern states. We don't think the people of Mizoram deserve a repetition of that scenario. I think what we need to see is people voting for a party they can see, not for a party which may have shadows behind it that we don't know whose shadows they are.
Any other questions? Oh, he is raised. Gilton. Please raise a hand so that we can pass it.
Yeah. Mr. Kiran Rijiju, convener of BJP for this election, Mizoram election, said that BJP is anti-corruption party. No, in 9 years, no even a single minister is accused of any corruption. Say like that. Any comment about that?
Well, I can tell you about that is one of the funnier claims that has been made. Don't ask a BJP person, are you corrupt? What do you expect them to say? Go and ask any businessman in this country whether corruption has gone up since 2014. Go and ask anyone who does import or export in India what their experience has been. Go to anyone who's a taxpayer in India and has to deal with the tax officials. You tell me, after talking to people who really have the experience of dealing with the BJP government, you tell me what the answer is. I'm not going to sit here and tell you because I'm not a businessman, I'm not an importer exporter, but I have talked to very many of them. Because I also wanted to believe it, right? So when I saw the Transparency International Index, which is the international yardstick, the gold standard for judging countries' progress in overcoming corruption. And we have done worse in the BJP rule than in the past, and we did not have a great record because there was corruption in the country. I will say that we've done worse now under the BJP, and when you ask why, this is the reason. Because Transparency International doesn't look at government press releases. They look at the experience of actual people doing business in India. And I'm sorry to say, I'm not proud of this. As an Indian, I want my country to be corruption-free. Mahatma Gandhi had set the standards for this country as to how the moral values that should infuse our governance. And many of us are feeling very sad that did not change. But merely making claims without any substance, people only laugh at that. We all know how the investigative agencies of the BJP have become an instrument, of the government of India, have become an instrument of the BJP. We know that they've only targeted opposition parties or leaders or business people who are supporting opposition parties. We have seen that there has been not one investigation of any charge against anybody associated with the ruling party, even when the mass media have come up with these allegations. So all I can say to you, my friend, is it would take a great deal of credulousness, a willingness to believe that particular claim of the BJP.
Yes, please.
Hello, sir. I'm Pradeep. I'm from PTI.
Hi.
I have two questions. I will ask them together. My first question is regarding the Mizoram elections. Congress was the last party in Mizoram while they were ruling the northeastern state. Mizoram, the last Congress ruled northeastern states in 2018. Now, according to your assessment, will Mizoram again be the first party where Congress will return? That's my first question. Second question, everywhere in the country, we are seeing that keeping the MLAs intact after the results are out is a big challenge for the Congress party. And they shift their sides after counting Senate. And if Congress does not get a considerable majority or big numbers, there is a possibility of like that. So in that scenario, what is the strategy that Congress will adopt? How are you going to protect your MLAs in Mizoram?
First, I'm very confident that from everything I'm picking up, and I've talked not only to party workers but to general members of the public, that there is a very good chance that Mizoram will establish that it becomes the first state to bring the Congress back to power in the Northeast. It will not be the last, it will definitely be the first, and others will follow. Secondly, on the question of the loyalty of MLAs, let me say very bluntly that the opportunists left the party now because the opportunities were greater elsewhere. Those who are only interested in the power of office, those who are only interested in the benefits that come from being associated with the ruling party, those would not have stayed in the Congress in these arduous circumstances. So we are confident that we've given tickets to good people who really believe in the ideology of the Congress, who want to save the idea of India and to preserve the diversity of Mizoram. And such people are not likely to jump overnight, jump ship and go somewhere else. Let me make one small observation to you, my friend. We are very conscious that just a few months away after the state election are the big national elections. And those national elections are nothing less than a struggle for saving India's soul. Because the idea of an India where everyone is equal, where everyone, irrespective of language, religion, caste, creed, region, culture, whatever, they all have the same rights under our constitution, that idea is under threat. That idea is under threat, and that's why next year's Lok Sabha election is so important. In many ways, the Mizoram election is a dress rehearsal for that. It's an opportunity for the people of Mizoram to say, this is the India we want to preserve. And that's what we're urging people to think about, particularly a highly literate state like Mizoram. I think only my state of Kerala comes slightly ahead of Mizoram in terms of literacy, otherwise you're right up there. We want you to think very seriously about the meaning of this election. And that's the vote that we believe you should give us. Carolyn?
Hello, my name is Caroline. I'm from DD News, Mizoram. I have two questions, I'll just club it together. In the past, the Congress in Mizoram here had a significant track record, securing the highest number of MLAs in 2013 election. But if we look in 2018 election, there has been a drastic decline in the number of MLAs. So I want you to pinpoint the reason behind this decline and whether it's related to leadership or other factors. Regardless of the decline, what distinct and unique propositions or policies does your party have in store for the state in light of these changes? In light of these changes, like what your party has in store for the state. And my second is, you've talked about diversity, unity in diversity, but if we look into every tribal, religion or cultural group, there tend to be presence of fundamentalists and extremists. And as we are deeply influenced by belief, do you believe that in the future, our constitution will effectively safeguard our rights, or will they be at risk, necessitating the constant battle each time a new government with different ideologies come into power? Or is this a reflection of reality, or it is more of an ideal scenario?
No, I think you asked some good questions, young lady. On the first one about the decline in the number of MLAs, you're right, there was a drop dramatically between 2013 and 2018, but there wasn't such a dramatic decline in the percentage of votes. So it was still principally an election between the MNF and the Congress. I think the percentage was only 2 or 3% less in terms of Congress votes. The ZPM had already come into existence by then, and as you know, they took a few seats and a few percent of the votes, and it seems that the votes they took were mainly from us. So 2018 reflected not a loss of confidence in the party by the voters as a whole, but the way the mathematics worked out. With the percentage of vote we got, we could have got more MLAs, we only got the 5 we got. So that's the first answer. It happens in a first past the post system. You know that. I mean, the famous example that foreigners like to cite is how Ms. Mayawati's party got 20% of the vote in 2019 and didn't win a single MPC, not one. with 20% of the vote. So in our system, such things can happen. It does not mean that the party, in this case the Congress, has lost the confidence of the voters. It means that in some places not enough votes came our way against the MNF candidate, partially because in some places ZPM took away some of our votes. And that was, you can do detailed constituency-wise analysis, you'll see that. On the second thing, as far as what the Congress has promised, I already gave you all the headlines, all the big picture items. I have a whole bunch of notes to give a very detailed program, but I don't know if you want that because that's all in the manifesto and you can see the things we're promising. Let me speak briefly about what we're not going to do. I mentioned in the beginning about this one nation, one election, one nation, one law, one nation, one leader kind of approach the BJP has. Now the thing is that this one nation, one civil code is also coming from the BJP. Congress has stood fast, steadfastly opposed one nation, one election, and will oppose one nation, one civil code once we know what it contains. Because right now, this is just what's the word I want, almost a ghostly apparition. There is a slogan, but there is no substance behind the slogan yet. No one has seen a draft civil code. So what is this uniform civil code they want? Our worry is, one of the beauties of our system is how we are able to preserve both different legal traditions and cultures in our country, in which, for example, the tribal peoples all have their own tribal codes, and at the same time give those who want to participate in an established written civil code the right to do so. So, for example, if you're a Muslim woman in India, you can marry under the Muslim law, and then all the benefits and obligations that flow from Muslim law will apply to you. But you can also marry, if you want, through the Special Marriages Act, sign a register, and then all the legal benefits of that apply to you. That kind of system is something that we believe gives everybody equal rights. Now tomorrow you bring a uniform civil code, what happens to the rights of the tribals? What happens to the rights of religious minorities? We don't know because we haven't seen a draft yet. But it's alarming that people are floating ideas that press uniformity. And the Congress is saying to unity does not mean uniformity. We are saying that we can stay united with all our differences that are part of our diversity. And that is the main difference between the Congress and the others. Now, on the specific things, I mentioned everything from tackling employment to the health scheme to the cancer care. We've got the 2,000 rupees. We've talked about the old pension fund. We've got many such schemes like this. And if you want to know a little more, my colleagues will certainly give you chapter and verse in the manifesto because we've thought this through in consultation with the people of Mizoram. It's what they want that we have given in the manifesto, and we believe in a realistic way. This will not break the budget of the government. And we have a very responsible, experienced former finance minister who stands behind this manifesto.
Sharif,
Hello, sir.
any other questions, raise your hand.
Hello, sir. Hello. Hello, sir. My name is Jerry. I'm from AMI. Recently, most of the star campaigner from Congress coming to the state have been saying that ZPM is the backdoor for the BJP. And in a recent interview with Mr. Lal Duoma, who is the CM candidate for the ZPM, we had an interview with him asking him the same question. And his reply was, we are not going to join any political group at the national level. As he said, we don't want to be dictated from Delhi. So what is your reaction to this? And don't you think this also have to do with the decentralization of power?
Look, it's an admirable sentiment. No one wants to be dictated to from Delhi, not even Congress chief ministers, not even BJP chief ministers. They all want their freedom to make their own decisions. Our problem is the unanswered questions that are lurking behind the ZPM's approach. Where is their financing coming from? For example, what is their path to power by themselves? They've never been in power. They've never had any experience getting to power. There are some genuine, sincere questions to be asked about how they expect to be able to come to power in this state, and whether it is somebody's very deep pockets that are going to lie behind any attempt to wrest power in the state. We, very frankly, do not believe the ZPM is going to be in a position to rule Mizoram alone. I mean that, I don't know whether you have got different polls than the ones we have seen, but we don't see it. We don't see it. What we fear they can do is damage to us. We feel we are doing very well with the general public, but that in some constituencies it's possible that the difference between us and victory could be in the votes of ZPM. So we want to also ask voters, what do you think you're voting for? You see, everyone says they want to change. I mean, I have not met a Mizo voter who says we're happy with this MNF government. Everybody wants to change, but what change do they want? Is it not better to go for a change you know, with a party you know, and a party that knows Mizoram? That's what the Congress is. That is our answer to this.
If there are no other questions, then I request Pu Sachin to come forward, because we are getting into today is the last day of campaign, and we are offering our thanks. Pu Sachin, please, on behalf of the Yeah. So, as the AICC Media and Communications Coordinator,
and as the AICC Observer in charge of the Mizoram elections,
we remain obliged, thankful and grateful for the wonderful support you have extended to us from the time of August 22nd. We came in here and started doing the campaign. We are really grateful to the entire media team of Mizoram. We wish you all success. We wish good luck to all of us. We wish good luck to us to win and form the government.
and please remember us, if ever you come, we'll keep coming back to Mizoram. We loved it. We found a home here. We found a lot of love and acceptance here. A lot of cooperation, a lot of great conversations, a lot of great meals with all of you. If you ever come our side of the country, do remember us. Give us a call. We'll be happy to host you, help you in any way we can. Thank you so much, and let's hope we can keep going. Thank you.
And that's from our side, and we remain thankful to the MPCC Media Chairman Purama, who has been coordinating with all of you. Thanks are done, and if there is something to be done with him on photographs, you can. There is a public meeting here, and there is a public meeting at 3 o'clock also for the Mizoram citizens interaction. So you're welcome there as citizens. It's not as members of the public. There are no media coverage there. But thank you once again. Kalome.